Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Business Growth with Dani. So this week I am talking about what it really takes to level up, and I'm going to be talking around strategy, getting support and self-leadership, because we absolutely need all three to be able to level up your business. And I want you to come away from this session being able to understand in which area you need to do some work. So I've helped therapists and coaches, creative business owners go from not making enough money, not getting enough sales, to bringing in consistent 4 and 5 figure cash months from the services that they have. And when I work with them to go from inconsistent to consistent income, and what I mean by that is bringing in a regular income, say for example 1,000 a month, 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month, whatever it is that you desire, then I look at these particular three areas because it's so important and fundamental to master all three. So if you have been telling yourself that posting on social media is a strategy, then the number one thing that you can do now is recognize that that is not a strategy. I was working with a client last week and I asked her what her strategy is right now, because she said, I'm doing the things, I've got them in place, and she's struggling to get the desired result for the one service that she wants to sell right now. The problem isn't her service, and this is the same thing for you. If you are struggling to get, I hate the word struggle, but if you are finding it a challenge to get the leads in and to get the sales, and you're telling yourself that you've got a strategy because you post on social media, then this is the number one thing you need to recognize, that that is not a strategy alone. The service is not usually the problem. Your service is not a problem if this is where you're at right now. And this is the same with my client. Her service is amazing. The content she's been posting is brilliant, gets loads and loads of engagement. But the real issue here is that there is a difference between just posting on social media and having a real strategy. And in today's video, I want to talk on this because I feel it's so important. And I'm really passionate about making sure that people are mastering the multiple areas of business that are actually needed. And this is why I have to be organised and why I work on organisation, because there is a lot of cogs to turn and a lot of plates to spin, unfortunately, but you can do that with balance. You can do that and create freedom. It's just about how you navigate doing that. So when it comes to your strategy, what it looks like to have a strategy is have different assets for your business, and all these assets lead back to you. For example, social media is one of my assets and is a part of my strategy, but I use that for marketing. Social media is about lead generation and marketing, which are two parts of my strategy. Another part of my strategy is how I nurture people. And again, social media, it becomes part of that, such as doing live videos like this and reusing and repurposing, breaking them down into even more content, which is marketing. And marketing is a part of my strategy. But your strategy overall needs those integral parts that do the different jobs, such as lead generation, bringing people in from being in your audience and just watching you, to actually activating them to take action and ask you how you can help them, how they can take your money, how they can become a client, and how you can get a sale. That is what lead generation is. Before lead generating leads, we need to be growing an audience. How are you reaching more people? And I get it, like, there is so many different ways, but just posting on social media is not enough. You'll have a limit on how many people you can reach by doing that. So going back to my theory of having assets for your business, I have different assets. One of my assets is social media, which I use for audience growth, for lead generation, and for content marketing. Another asset of mine is my podcast, which again, I use it for the same reason. I direct people to my social media, to my website, to my email list, to come and work with me through my podcast. Third asset is my email list. Again, I use social media to get people onto the email list, but I also go networking. And networking is an asset in itself. It's something that I do consistently on a regular basis to bring people again to my social media, to my email list. So you can see how these different assets work together to bring people to me. Overall, that is what my strategy is. I want to make it really simple and really break it down for you so that you can start recognizing that the number one thing you should do is, when you're feeling like the sales, look at what your strategy actually is. And if it is just about posting on social media, that's not a strategy. It can be part of it. Marketing can be part of it. The content that you do is marketing. But again, we need to be strategic with the content that you do and the marketing that you do. Things such as creating awareness activating people to take action, generating leads are just a few examples. So if you're finding it a challenge right now, then this is the exact process I've been through with my clients to go from having no existing strategy to making sure that we have one in place. However, little disclaimer, it is not just all about the work and the things that we do, because you do need to have that match of energy work and mindset work as well in order to be able to effectively implement your strategy so that it gets results. I feel that there's like a mismatch in the online space right now. You've either got people who are full into the strategy, or you've got people who are full into energy and mindset work, but the problem here is you're getting two parts of the puzzle and you're not getting them both together. When I work with my clients, we work on both. And people don't hire me for fluff. They hire me for the cold, harsh truth, which is what I've decided to come and share with you today. The second lesson I want to talk you through when it comes to leveling up your business and that you need is support. So it's just like when you become a parent, the popular saying is that it takes a village. And another one is Rome isn't built in a day. So I am the coach people come to after they've tried it on their own, after they've tried everything else, and recognise that you just can't do everything on your own. So going back to the strategy, if strategy is something that you find challenging, then reach out and get some support from me, from someone else who aligns with you, because you don't know what you don't know. And this is what is often the challenge with business, because there's so many different areas, so much expertise we have to gain, there's so much we have to become. We become a content creator, we become a social media manager, a photographer, a content creator. Did I already say that one? We become an email marketing guru. We have to become it all. That's just a few parts. I became a podcaster. I become a speaker. There's so many identities that we take on when we become self-employed, when we become a business owner, and when we decide to use an online platform to sell what we sell. So when it comes to this and you feel like you've tried all the things, maybe you've set up a podcast, you've set up a YouTube channel, you've even got a website, you're posting on social media consistently because that's what you've been told to do. And I find this a lot. Every single client that I've worked with has been through this hamster wheel of trying all the different things. But I guarantee that what happens is when you do that, you've not got the support from an expert that has done it before, or has got the skills, or got the expertise, got the knowledge. And so when you're doing it, you're often going to be winging it. Or you're not doing something and practicing something for long enough to be able to see the impact and the results that it gets. One really good example is my health journey that I've been on for the past year. I have been trying loads of different things and it got overwhelming really, really quickly. And it's the same as what you're probably experiencing within your business. And I've realised recently, through the help from leaning into support, I worked with a health and nutrition coach for the first 5 months of the year. And then I've had a call recently with another health coach who's opened my eyes to what I actually need to do in order to make an impact and see the results that I've not been seeing. Or sometimes you can get the results without even seeing them, which is why we need to give it time. So one of the things we've put in place is I have got to do something consistently for 3 weeks and then review it, then assess, have I actually got some results? Because sometimes it just takes that long to get results. And it's exactly the same with your business. For example, if one of the things that you've decided to do is to post more content on social media and send an email every week, and then you do that for a week and you look at the results and the reach has not gone up, the engagement has not gone up, that's because you've only just recently implemented this change. So how about you try that for 3 weeks and then have a look at the results so you can really audit where you're at. Plus, on average, it takes around 21 days or 3 weeks to actually create a consistent habit. So at least you've managed to create the habit before you can analyse the results. So the point of here I'm making is that you need to tap into that support and that expertise. And I know this is not always sometimes available to everybody, but it doesn't always have to be something you pay for. There is free challenges. There is opportunities getting on people's email lists. I do this. I share so much content on a weekly basis that if you're not tapping into that, which is available for free, then how are you really tapping into the support that's available? And one thing my clients always say after working with me is that they are so glad that they came to work with me and invested in that support because of where it's taken them to. And that's what consistently happens after a few weeks with me. People recognise there's a before working with a coach and there's after working with a coach. There is a difference. You gain so much clarity on what your next steps are whilst also being held and supported whilst you go through implementing the things that you're implementing. So that's what I want you to be aware of. And then the third and final thing that I want to talk to you about when it comes to leveling up your business is self-leadership. Now, I'm a little bit biased because over the past year, I have worked with a leadership coach. This is life and business leadership I've been working on because I recognise that there is a gap. And one of the gaps for most of my clients between them being able to do something and implement something is the self-leadership. So I worked with a self-leadership coach to improve my life, not as just a business owner, but also as a mum, as a wife, as a friend. And I'm happy to say that not only have I done this work for the past year and it's really made a difference, I've invested in that for the next year ahead. So sometimes it's not the business coach that you need. Sometimes you just need to manage your self-leadership skills. And now that I know, because like I said earlier, you don't know what you don't know, I have seen the gap and how that's been closed and how that's changed and how that's had an impact. So when it comes to your self-leadership, if you're the type of person who can come onto a training like this, come onto a video like this, will take the notes, know exactly what you have to do and get all the knowledge, but then fails to actually implement it, then that's where your self-leadership skills need to be worked at and need to come into effect. And I see this all the time. I believe business should feel easy, it should feel effortless, but I also believe it should feel aligned. And I truly believe that if you're not taking action on the things that you want to do and you find yourself procrastinating, then you're not feeling that it's easy. You're not feeling that you enjoy it or that it's the right thing for you, and it's not aligned. And this is a reason why you won't find cookie cutter strategies here. Instead, I focus on the things that we do need to be doing, like the strategy, there's getting the support and mastering the self-leadership, because they are essential. But I won't tell you to go use one specific asset. I won't tell you to go build a podcast because I use a podcast. I won't tell you to go use YouTube because I use YouTube, because it's not all about cookie cutter, because cookie cutter is not going to get you anywhere. Instead, I want you to focus on what's going to work for you and what's going to feel aligned and what's going to make you feel good and make you want to get up on a morning and do the work in your business. And if you're not feeling that, it's recognising what it is that you truly want and being able to take action on that. Use your strengths and pull them in. I think I talked about this on one of my previous podcast episodes, was using what you're naturally great at and pulling that in to the work that you do. Because we all have transferable skills from our previous experience and our expertise and jobs we've done, qualifications we've got. It all plays its part. And that's how you can truly master your self-leadership to go and achieve what you want. So I want you to recognise that if any of this part of what I've said today has resonated, are you not actually being strategic when it comes to growing your business? Are you not getting the support that you need and that you deserve? And ask yourself why. And then finally, have you mastered your self-leadership in order for you to be able to take action on the things that you know you need to be doing, but are actually not doing? Such as the strategy. You can listen to this and figure out, so I've not actually got a strategy because I've just been posting on social media. So if that's the case, I've told you something you can do now. You can go and work on those assets to make sure your strategy's in place. But there will be 95 or maybe even 97% of people that watch this that still stay where they are. But the 3% will go and take action. Those 3% have self-leadership. So ask yourself, how can you lead yourself today to level up your business? And that's the note I'm going to end on. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this video today. Reach out if you would like to come and work with me. Currently, the best way to work with me is in my Time Rich Mastermind, but I also have some amazing, interesting things coming up, such as the Time Back Challenge, because I know and recognise that a lot of us are always saying, well, not me anymore, but I know that you're always saying, I wish there was more time. And because of this, I've decided to create the Time Back Challenge so I can help you get organised and give you time back in your business. And this is going to be completely free. It's 6 tasks over 4 weeks, actually. It was going to be 6 weeks originally, but it's over 4 weeks. And it's going to be here on social media. I'm also going to be sending them out to my email list so everybody doesn't miss it. So please join me next week as I begin the Time Back Challenge. Watch this campaign. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I'd love you to get involved. And I've got a little something coming up in August up my sleeve. So I hope that you get the benefit of that today. I'm just going to read the comment. Totally get this. I write the knowledge, then struggle to step by step, smaller steps. However, through listening to your consistency, lets me know. Listen to me consistently, lets me know I can be flexible. Yes, you absolutely can be flexible. This is the thing. When I create structure, when it comes to organisation, everybody thinks I'm going to make them create structure, but that is not what it's actually about. In fact, I've seen an amazing resource this morning by another business owner being put together to help people with their time management. However, it kind of makes me freak out because I know, even though it's a great tool, certain people are not going to actually find it effective because basically it's built on the basis of time blocking. And I actually don't believe time blocking works for everyone. I count myself as everyone. Time blocking eventually didn't work for me. I need more flexibility, I need more freedom because of my life, my personal circumstances, and how I actually naturally work within my business. So if that's you, you need to look for alternative ways also. And it's about bringing that flexibility. So I just want to add that in based on that comment. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Reach out, like I said. Best way to work with me is in my Time Rich Mastermind, where you get to spend an hour every single week coached and mentored by me and supported by and held by your mastermind peers, because if anything today I've helped you recognise how important support is. It's very strategic. We're going to work on becoming time rich and having that freedom that you deserve and making sure that your business succeeds and brings in the consistent cash, higher cash income months that you desire and want. If that's what you desire and want, because some people don't. But yeah, so that's the best way to work with me right now. Pop me a message, because as of this month, there is a payment plan which is insane, makes it super accessible and affordable, and there's amazing bonuses as well as £500 off right now. So reach out and I'd love to support you. And I'll be back same time, same place next week with Business Growth with Dani.